All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little NFL mock draft 5.0. Now, we've been doing this once a week for the last month. So we're at mock draft 5.0. There's going to be one more. There'll be a mock draft 6.0. And then that's it. We're moving on to the actual draft itself. So we've done different kinds of mock drafts. We've done a mock draft where we've gone with lots of trades. We've gone with a mock draft where we've just plugged just every time the Niners pick, we've gone to their pick, and we have done no trades. We've done mocks where we're doing what we would do. We're done mocks. We're doing what we think they're going to do. Today, I'm going to go with a combination of what I think they're going to do, and also I'm going to try to focus on their needs. And instead of going best player available, we're going to focus a little bit more on their needs. So we're entering the draft room for this purpose. We're using the NFL mock draft database simulator. There's a bunch of them to use, but I decided to use this one today. Now, the 49ers pick at 99, 101, 102, 155, 164, 173, 216, 222, 247, 253, 255. I will entertain the idea of a deal or two, but I'm basically just going to stay right in the spots that they're in, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to hit start, and away we go. So obviously, it's going to take a little while for 99 to come up, and who knows? Will they have a first round pick? Will they trade Trey Lance? Will they trade Brandon Ayuk? Will they make any moves at all to trade up in the draft, or will they stay at 99? For this mock draft, we're just going to stay at where they're picking, and we'll pick at 99. We're not going to attempt to trade up or do anything really crazy as far as this is concerned. All right, so this mock draft simulator offers you a lot of picks or a lot of trades, um, and this one is offering to move back 8 spots for a fourth round pick, 2 6 round picks, and a pick in a 2024 6 round pick. Well, to move back 8 spots from right here, that's not a big deal. But um, let's see what the other offers are. Tampa's offering to move back a number of spots from 99 to 153. We'll reject that. Um, let's see. Green Bay is called, and they're offering to move back 17 spots, offering a 5 and 2/7. We'll reject that. Patriots are offering 107, just move back 8 spots. I probably would consider doing that. Let's see what other offers are out there. The Bears have called saying, will you move back 4 spots for a fifth? I think I'm doing that trade. I think I'm going to do that one right there. I'm going to move back from 99 to 103 because that fifth round pick is a seam. I think there's going to be some good value in the fifth round, and there's a couple extra players I'd like to get. So I'll take that one. So now we're on the board at 101, and we're getting 4 more trade offers. We'll just reject these because I don't really see them as great additions. I don't want to trade back into the fifth round. So here we are. So we're now at pick 101 and 102 and 103. We've got 3 picks in a row. So where do we go? Well, let's see who's on the board. Marvin Mims is interesting, but you're talking about a wide receiver, and that's probably not the direction they'll go. Nathaniel Dell's interesting. Wide receiver Tyjae Spears is interesting. Zach Harrison is a phenomenal talent. Jartavius Martin is a safety I really like. Roshan Johnson, tremendous running back. Byron Young from Tennessee's there. J.L. Skinner, Jair Brown. It's going to be tough to pass up. Schoonmaker from Michigan's there. Isaiah McGuire, Yaya Diaby, Byron Young from Alabama. All right, let's take a look at the needs. I do like some offensive linemen later. Wanya Morris is the best tackle if I want to go tackle. Let's go edge rusher. Zach Harrison, Byron Young, Isaiah McGuire, Yaya Diaby. You got a lot of pick there of a number of interesting guys. Byron Young's interesting because he can dial up a ton of speed off the edge, but he's not your prototypical edge rusher. He's more like an outside backer. I think he might be better as a 3-4 edge guy. KJ Henry's really strong against the run. Diaby's a really good athlete and has production. Harrison was a 5-star guy. It's like, how do you pass on Zach Harrison? He's just such an incredible talent. Fajoko's there. I love Junior Fajoko. So that's looked at tackle, looked at edge. Let's take a look at corner. Riley Moss, Jacorian Bennett, players I like a lot. Terrell Smith, a player that they looked at. I think this might be a little on the early side for that. Let's look at D-line overall. Byron Young, who I really love from Alabama's there. Not really a need. They're more of a need on the corner. Let's go get the quarterbacks. You can get DTR, Tanner McKee, Jaron Hall, Jake Hayner, Clayton Tune. I like Clayton Tune. So you can go receiver. There's some receivers there. It's a tough call. I think you got to stay with the edge class. And I think I'll go Byron Young. Byron Young from Tennessee. All right, now I'm at 102. The Rams are offering a couple fourths. I'm going to reject, or the Jaguars, I'm going to reject that. Denver's offering next year's fourth, fifth, and sixth for a third-round pick. I'm rejecting that. So now I'm sitting at 102. All right, we've got our edge rusher. Now, what else do you want? Do you want Jartavius Martin, who's a free safety? That's a good call. That would be a nice pick right there. Corner, I think, is probably where the need is. I think I'm going to go Riley Moss right here. Riley Moss is a really, really good player. So now I'm at 103, and I can move back 3 spots, and I get 2 fifths and a 7th with the Colts. That's interesting. I mean, that's almost a no-brainer. Or I can move back to 160. I'm going to reject that from the Giants. So I think I'm going to take that offer with the Colts. I move back from 103 to 106. I move back 3 spots, and I get 2 fifth-round picks and a 7th. I'm doing that. I'm doing that trade. Okay, so now I'm at 106, and I've got an edge rusher, and I've got a corner. I really liked the other corners that were there. Jacorian Bennett, I really like a lot. Terrell Smith, I really like a lot. That's tough. As far as the highest rated guy on the board, Nathaniel Dell's there, but he's so small. He's a home run hitter. Tyjae Spears is going to be a really good running back for somebody. There's no question about that. Zach Harrison's still there. Man, that J.L. Skinner's there. Jair Brown, the safety from Penn State, is there. And the thing about Jair Brown that's so interesting, in a lot of ways, he's a great athlete who also was the MVP of the Rose Bowl against Utah. He's a terrific player. Diaby's there, Byron Young, but you know what? I think well, it's tough because it's like on one hand, Jair Brown would be terrific, but safety, maybe not as much of a need. Israel Abanaconda from Pittsburgh is really a nice player. I think I'm going Byron Young from Alabama. Byron Young from Alabama is a terrific athlete, 295 pounds, can really rush the passer, just a guy who I think can really be good. I think you could use him outside. You can use him inside. He's too good, too talented, and you can't pass on 300-pounders who have that kind of movement ability when you're at pick 106. So even though I probably could have gone for another corner, I could have gone with Jair Brown in the secondary, I could have gone with a tackle, I went with Byron Young. I thought the value's too good. Now I'm at pick 138. Okay, Abanaconda is just an unbelievable back. I really love Anaconda. But do I go running back there? It's a little high for running back. Do I go quarterback here? Do you go DTR? Do you go corner again with Corian Bennett, who I really like from Maryland? Keaton Mitchell is a tremendous player from East Carolina. It's really difficult. Clayton Tune is there if you want Clayton Tune, quarterback. You have a corner, you have a D lineman, you have an edge rusher. You can go another edge rusher, but I like some other edge rushers late. There's some corners I like late. Let's take a look at the offensive line. You can go with the Outland Trophy winner, Oluwatimi from Michigan, the center. That's a hard one to pass up. Ricky Stromberg's a good offensive lineman from Arkansas. McClendon Curtis from Chattanooga, I think, is a really nice right tackle. He's at right. He can play guard or tackle. Antonio Mafi went to Sarah. I really like him later on. But let's see. Where's the value on the board here? Abanaconda is so good. He's just so good. It's like, how do you pass on Abanaconda? And Owen Papo is a super fast linebacker. But yeah, I mean, I'm DTR would be nice here, but Keaton Mitchell, Jaron Hall, a lot of good football players here for sure. Jake Hayner, Marte Mapu, Fahoko, who I like a little bit later on. I think I'm going to go on Abanaconda. Izzy Abanaconda. Go watch the film on him. You'll love him. Absolutely love him. So I'm going Abanaconda. Now I'm at pick 148, and the Giants have called offering a 4th and a 5th next year. I'm turning that down. Tampa's calling, offering a 5th and a 6th and next year's 4th to move up. I'm turning that down. Detroit is offering next year's 5th to move down 4 spots. I'm rejecting that. And the Texans are offering 2 6th-round picks to move down 13 spots. I'm rejecting that. So now I'm at 148. And I've got a bunch of picks, as you can see, and I already filled some needs. I've got Byron Young, the edge rusher. I've got a Byron Young, the interior guy. I got a running back that I really like, and I like Riley Moss as a corner. So Diaby is really hard to pass up there. Let's see what other safeties are there. Jay Ward I really like, but I love Brandon Hill, but I think he's not quite at that level yet. Do I go corner again? Jacorian Bennett would be a tough guy to pass up. Do I go tight end? Let's take a look at the tight ends here. Payne Durham might not be a bad tight end to go with here. Josh Wiley. I think I'm going Payne Durham. I'm going with the Purdue tight end. Really like Payne Durham. 6'5". I think he's kind of a nice player all the way around. I think he's a good receiver, good enough blocker. I like Payne Durham. All right, now we're at pick 155. Bengals have called offering to move down for a 6th. I'm going to reject that. The Rams are offering next year's 4th, 5th, and 7th. I'm rejecting that. Okay, so I'm here at 155. And what direction do I want to go? This is difficult because now you've filled a couple needs. You've filled the tight end need. You filled the corner need, the edge rusher need. Could go offensive line right here. And there's Wanya Morris sitting right there. There's Saldiveri, Warren McClendon, I think is very polished. You know, this is the thing. I mean, how many offensive linemen do you really want to add? You already have a lot of players at that position. You're also going to need more edge rushers. I think I'm not passing on Junior Fahoko from San Jose State. To me, Fahoko is just too good to pass up. Okay, now the Steelers have called offering their 7th for the 5th. I'm saying no to that. All right, taking a look at the quarterbacks, this is where I'm going Clayton Tune. Pick 164. I think Tune is a perfect complement to what the Niners have right now. I think Clayton Tune's a really good player. Okay, so now you're at pick 173. The Giants offer a 7th, a 4th, a 6th, and a 7th next year. I'm rejecting that. I can move down 7 spots from 173 for next year's 6th with the Cardinals. I'm rejecting that. Patriots have called. I can move from 173 to 187 for a 6th, and next year 4th and 5th. I'm rejecting that. And the Saints have called offering a 7th. I'm rejecting that. Okay, so I'm at pick 173. and I've now have I have a quarterback to add to the mix. Um, and now what am I looking for? I've got one edge rush. I've got two edge rushers. Now I think you got to play the board, as it comes. You could, Jacorian Bennett is sitting right there as a corner. I really like Bennett, and to me, that's a great one. I love Keaton Mitchell, but you're not going two running backs. And you've already drafted Abnaconda. I think this is where I'm going Marte Mapu, the linebacker from Sac State. All right, now I'm at 176. Green Bay's offering 3 7th-round picks to move. I'm turning that down. So I'm at 176 right now. And I have a linebacker, a quarterback, two edge rushers, a tight end, a running back, a D tackle, a corner, and another edge rusher. All right, well, I kind of think they could probably use another corner. And to me, Jacorian Bennett's too good a steal to be at this point. So I'm taking the Maryland corner at 176. So now we're at 216, and we have, what, 1, 2, 3, we have 6 picks left. Giants have called, offering 2 7ths and next year's 7th. No, I'm not doing that. I'm at 216, and let's see who's the best player on the board at pick 216. Now I'm looking for some offensive line because you're not going to go offensive line early, but I think you probably could go offensive line right around here. Now there's Warren McClendon, there's Joey Fisher from Shepherd, there is Zajoku from Boise State. These are all interesting guys. Palczewski, Joey Fisher from Shepherd. To me, this is a great value. This guy's a brawler. He's tough. I want to add some beef to this offensive line. I want to add some size to this offensive line. Okay, I'm at pick 221, and now Green Bay's offering 2 7ths to move from 221 to 232. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that pick. I'm going to do that trade because I want that extra player. Having extra bites of the apple in the 7th round, absolutely, I think is a good thing. So I'll take 2 for 1 on this and move down a little bit. All the players here, it's beauty in the eye of the beholder. Now, Raheem Jarrett's nice. The one thing that we don't have here is we don't have a wide receiver. So let's take a look at the wide receiver group. Who's left? There's Raheem Jarrett. There's Bryce Ford Wheaton. There's Grant DeBose from Charlotte, who I just watched the other day. Really like him. Wheaton is a huge, fast guy. There's Elijah Higgins, who might be a tight end. There's Demario Douglas, whose stop and start ability is incredible. I love him, though he does have 6 fumbles. Michael Jefferson from Louisiana Lafayette, terrific athlete. Brownlee from Southern Miss, terrific athlete. There's some good receivers there for sure. Shaq Davis from South Carolina State is intriguing. But let's go back to the D-line. Let's see what's left on the D-line, because a lot of times the D-line there can be some good players. I like Dawan Johnson right here from Toledo. That guy is just, he can play for me. I mean, the guy brings it. Tremendous athlete, brings it, lots of energy. Can play inside, can play outside. I really like him a lot. All right, let's check the edge class, see if you can find some. I'm drafting Jose Ramirez here from Eastern Michigan. Just had the best 3-cone drill of anybody at the combine. Just a really, really solid player. All right, let's take a look now at the offensive line again. Let's look at the interior offensive line. Now McClendon Curtis is here, and I don't know if he's actually going to be here in the real world, but I'm taking McClendon Curtis. He's got long arms. He played left tackle this year. He played right guard much of his career. I'm bolstering my line with McClendon Curtis. I'm staying on the offensive line. I'm taking Antonio Mafi from UCLA, who went to Sarah. Now, I went to St. Ignatius, so I'm usually anti-Sarah. But in this particular case, Mafi is he's a converted D tackle who showed up at UCLA at 411 pounds. He showed up at his pro day workout at 329. This guy is a former D tackle who loves to bury people in the run game. And if this shakes out this way, and you could add Antonio Mafi, who's probably a right guard. McClendon Curtis, who I think is a right tackle. Joey Fisher, who I think is probably a right guard or right tackle. If you could add those three guys on day 3 to your offensive line, I think this is going to be a tremendous draft. So what's left to do? You've got your edge rusher. You've got an edge rusher in Byron Young. You added an edge rusher in Fehoko. You added another edge rusher in Jose Ramirez. And you added Dawan Johnson, who's kind of a converted. He could be a D end or a D tackle. You've also added Byron Young up front. So you've added a lot up front. To me, I'm looking at linebacker now. Even though there's not really a need there, there's a player that I just absolutely love. And if he's on the board, I'm taking him here. There he is, Charlie Thomas from Georgia Tech. Charlie Thomas is going to be one of the great steals of this draft. This guy's 215 to 218 pounds. He was like second in the nation in tackles. If you watch him, he flies around. He's going to be an outstanding NFL player. Outstanding. To me, I've got to have that guy. And another guy that I got to have, well, let me see. I love Carlton Marshall, the linebacker from Troy, who's probably going to be undrafted, to be honest. But, man, I would have a hard time passing on him. Okay, let's go best available and see who's there. See, on this list, Rajon Wright is there from Oregon State, and that's going to be a hard guy to pass. Malik Cunningham, the quarterback from Louisville, is going to be there. That's going to be a hard guy to pass. Dante Stills from West Virginia can play inside, outside. I think he's going to be a hard guy to pass. So, it's interesting. You've got the one spot you haven't added anything to the wide receiver core, and you haven't added the kicker. I think I'm going kicker here with Chad Ryland. There you go. So that's the mock draft right there. We started with, and there's a lot of picks here, granted. But man, if you can move down, get some extra picks, there's some really good players. This is easily I've had so far. As far as you solved your needs, you got some big time talent. You started with Byron Young, the Tennessee edge rusher. He's electric off the edge. He's going to give the Niners the best speed they've had at defensive end opposite Bosa since Dee Ford. Now, he's more of a situational guy. I mean, he's going to play him in a rotation. He's a little light, but in the wide 9, getting up the field, I love Byron Young. To me, he's so fast. He's so talented. Riley Moss is a damn good football player. I mean, I don't know if he's going to stay at corner. He might move to free safety, but he's a great zone corner who reads the quarterback's eyes and has great ball skills and will take the ball away. You really, really start to back who has great break on the football. And in a man-to-man, don't love him. But in a zone, I don't know if there's anybody better. So it's a little higher than I wanted to take him, but there you go. The one guy that I was thinking of instead of him would be Catrell Clark from Louisville. But in this situation, I went with Riley Moss. Then Byron Young at 106. To me, this is just a personal favorite of mine. Byron, this guy is totally overlooked by all the talent at Alabama. He comes flying off of blocks. I love the way this guy, the explosive movement, high school kid from the state of Mississippi, just an elite athlete. And I just think that he's going to be a much better pro than he was in college. And if you put him in the Niners system, man, and you can run him in a rotation. You already got Hargrave and Armstead. You could play him a little bit outside, a little bit inside. I think he could be absolutely terrific. Izzy Abanikanda is a tremendous player. I mean, just love him. 220 pounds, and he has great athleticism. He runs away. Payne Durham's a really solid tight end. You can't go wrong there. Junior Fehoko was made to play for Coach Eric in the wide 9. Another local guy, went to St. Francis, went to San Jose State, 270 pounds. He doesn't have quick twitch, but, man, the motor is crazy. I'll take Fehoko. He was the Defensive Player of the Year in his conference. At 164, Clayton Tune, I think Clayton Tune is really very much of a sleeper quarterback. I think the Niners like three things in their quarterbacks right now. They like experience, collegiate production, um, and mobility. And Tune's got all three. He was very productive. He has scored really high in the cognitive testing. He's really athletic, and he's 220 pounds. So at pick 164, I think that's a steal. Marte Mapu definitely makes your team. He's a great special teamer. Probably at first, he's a nickel pit. He's a hybrid player. He's a nickel and a dime guy. I think Mapu could be your secret ingredient to slow down Kelsey when you get the Chiefs at some juncture. Jacorian Bennett was just value play. That's too good of a corner, too late in the draft. I really like Bennett. That's a tremendous addition right there. Joey Fisher out of Shepherd is looking to bury people. And he's probably more of a right guard than a right tackle, but I think there's potential for him to play right tackle. But that gives the Niners another super physical offensive lineman. Dawan Johnson from Toledo is just one of my favorite players. I don't know if he's a tackle who's a pass rusher or if he's an end who's really strong against the run, but he's 275. And to me, I would take my chances. You play him in a rotation. Jose Ramirez is, I think, one of the best edge rushers in this class from Eastern Michigan. To me, these mock drafts have him going way lower than he should go. I think he's probably going to go around 180, 190, somewhere in there, and they have him at 232 here. But I'll take him for this exercise for sure. McClendon Curtis, I mean, he played right guard, and they list him as a right guard, but he played left tackle at Chattanooga last year. I think he's got right tackle potential. I think he's really exciting. Antonio Maffei, the kid from Sarah High School who played for the Bruins, converted D lineman, just a brawler, just a super tough guy. To me, if you can add Curtis and Maffei and Fisher all to your offensive line, man, I mean, those are the kinds of guys who can be tone-setting difference makers on your O-line. Charlie Thomas is just too fast, too good, too productive. He's going to be a sleeper. Get him at 253 is the steal of the draft. Absolute steal of the draft. And then Chad Ryland, he's a kicker with a very strong leg. I'd rather see them go get Robbie Gould, but if they have to go with a kicker, I'd rather not go with Zane Gonzalez. I'd rather go get a rookie. So Ryland is the choice. The other, part of this draft is who's going to be available at the end of the first round when the Texans pick at 33, because I think this 33rd pick definitely could come to the Niners in a deal for Trey Lance. Who would be there? I made that pick or made that trade. Forbes is there. He's interesting for sure. Dawan Jones, one of the biggest offensive linemen in the entire draft. He's there if they wanted him. Jahmyr Gibbs is a special running back. He's there. Adi Tamiwa Adbare is there. Julius Brents is there. Julius Brents is a monster corner with a ton of talent. Cody Mauch is there if you wanted to go offensive tackle with the kid from North Dakota State. So and Isaiah Foskey's there. And to me, that's the guy that they would go for, Isaiah Foskey, if they traded up with the Texans. So just look for it. You could get Foskey if you wanted to by moving Lance. I think if you wanted to cross that bridge, and Foskey would be a huge addition. If you added Foskey to what they have here, maybe one of those edge rushers in the middle of the draft, you convert to a different position, maybe a defensive back or a wide receiver or something else. But overall, I like that mock draft. It gives you it addresses the needs. It addresses, edge rusher, huge need. Cornerback, huge need. Tight end, I think, is a huge need. Offensive line, huge need. And and kicker is a big need as well. And you can never have enough fast linebackers who make tons of tackles. And Charlie Thomas is it. So, really interesting draft. In this draft, I did bypass going for a wide receiver. And the one wide receiver that I would have my eye on after the draft is the guy that went to Clemson, was a 5-star out of high school in Sacramento, Joseph Ngata, who's been working out with his buddy. I believe he might even be related to Brandon and those who have been working out this offseason. If you can't go wide receiver in the draft, I think there's going to be some really good ones after the draft, and Joseph Ngata from Clemson would probably be the guy that I'd be calling in the middle of the 7th round, trying to get him to come to the 49ers. So there you go. Mock Draft 5.0 is in the books. It starts with Byron Young. There's multiple Byron Youngs drafted by the 49ers. There's a local flavor to the thing as well, with Fehoko being a St. Francis guy, Bob being a Sac State guy, with Boffy being a Sarah High School player. There's a local angle to the thing as well. But to me, it's really just addressing your needs in what I think is the best way possible. All right, hope you enjoyed Mock Draft 5.0. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being a proud sponsor of the Krueg Show. Check them out in Corte Madera, open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and they're open in Emeryville, inside the Emeryville Public Marketplace, Wednesday through Sunday. You can check them out in Emeryville. Thanks to everybody for supporting the Krueg Show on YouTube.